Hey everyone, it's Jordan, and today I'm going to be doing a holiday gift guide for your reader friends or loved ones. Last week I did a holiday gift guide for non-readers, and I'm going to link it down below so you guys can check it out. So basically, this is the same gift guide except for readers, and I have a lot of books that I'm going to be recommending to those who love to read, obviously. And fair warning, there are some of the books on this list that I have not read yet, but I will get to in the future, so don't get mad at me. And also I'm going to be doing it by genre, and that makes any sense. And like, if your reader friend or loved one loves fantasy, I'm recommending some fantasy books. So, yeah, so let's get started. First off, I'm going to be recommending to read for kids books for any kid in your any kid that reads. First, I'm going to recommend the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. Sorry, I got mixed up with another author, but anyways, I think any kid would love reading the Harry Potter series. I mean, I did when I was a kid, so I definitely think that every kid would love to read it. The next book is, it's more of a middle grade, or like I think somewhat people who read YA read this, and that's Lost in a Book by Jennifer Donnelly. This is like a Beauty and Beast retelling. I think any girl who loves Beauty and Beast would love this book, and it's about Bella, obviously when she was prisoner at the Beast Castle, but then at the library she found this magical book that she transfers to the real world, to the world in the book. So I think, like I said, I think any girl would love to read this book. Next book series that I would definitely recommend to kids, which is the Magic Treehouse series by Mary Pope Osborne. Basically, these kids, brother and sister, they travel through time with on a magic treehouse, obviously. I loved those books as a kid, and I would recommend those to any kid who loves time traveling or think it would be cool to travel through a magic treehouse. So I recommend those to any kid. The next book series I would recommend to kids, which is the Cam Jansen series by, I honestly forgot who it's by, but those are mystery books about this girl who has a photographic memory, and they call her the Camera, but they call her Cam for short. And I really enjoyed the book series as a kid, and I know I said I would recommend those to any kid, but I'd rather recommend books to kids that I've read when I was their age, and hopefully they will enjoy them like I did. So I'm definitely recommending those books to the kids. Next age group that I'm going to be talking about is teens or young adults, and the first genre I'm going to be talking about is fantasy. And the first book that I'm recommending is Everland by Wendy Spinelli. This is a Peter Pan retelling, and it's about this girl who's taking care of her siblings after her parents passed away, and then her sister gets kidnapped by this version of Captain Hook, and she and her brother joins the Lost Boys to help her find her sister. And apparently there's a disease that's going around in the books that that the main character is actually the cure, so that Captain Hook is also after her. So I thought any teens would love to read this if they are fans of Peter Pan or like dystopian world of the fairy classics. So and I really enjoyed it, so I'm definitely recommending this to anybody who enjoys any of the things I said. The next book I'm recommending is Spindle Fire by Lexa Highlier. This is a Sleeping Beauty retelling, and this is the first book in a duology. The second book is coming out next year, which I'm excited about. This is about Isabel and Aurora, they're two sisters, and Isabel's parents think that Aurora should be queen instead of her because, one, she's blind, and they consider her as a bastard child, so they can't consider her as the right ruler. So Isabel's quest is to find a prince that would be a better match for Aurora, besides find a prince to wake her up. I definitely enjoy it, even though I have minor issues with it, but I think anybody would. If anybody likes this fairy tale of Sleeping Beauty, I think they would definitely enjoy this. The next book I'm recommending is Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater. This is technically her first book of the Shiver or the Wolf of Mercy series. This is one of the books that I like since the Twilight phase, but this is definitely better than Twilight. It's about a girl who finds this boy who turns out to be the wolf that saved her life. I think this has been a while since I've read the series, but this is about this is when she falls in love with him and he falls in love with her, but there has been issues like in the world that when wolves turn certain age, they permanently stay a wolf, so they try to find a way to have him to stay human as long as possible. And that's what the whole series is about. I know I definitely enjoyed it, even though, like, I've read this after the Twilight phase, but this is better than Twilight, so if you know someone who's not a Twilight fan, but wants something that's, like, better than that, then I recommend Shiver. The next book I'm recommending is Firelight by Sophie Jordan. This book you might have to find online just because I don't see it in stores, so you might have to buy this on Amazon or Barnes & Noble website or any of the bookstores that you go to, but this book is about this girl who transforms into a dragon, or a dragon that shifts into humans, and she falls in love with her enemy. So this is an unrated trilogy that I don't think anybody on BookTube has ever talked about it, but I highly recommend this if you're looking for a book that's like underrated and a forbidden romance. I definitely would recommend this to those who want to read it. Next book I'm recommending is Firelight by Ellie Blake. I'm actually currently reading this. I'm trying to get my way through it, but I'm really liking it so far. But from what I've read, this is about this girl who's fire blood, but she has to hide it from the society that she lives in because they're ruled by frost bloods. But then a group of frost bloods that are like the rebels, and they trained her to use her powers to kill the king. And I'm really liking it just because it reminds me of the Avatar: The Last Airbender. So anybody who loves books that are similar to their favorite TV shows, I definitely would recommend this. The next book I'm recommending is The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. This is a retelling of a Christmas Carol, and it's about this girl who was visited by the three spirits, the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future, but then she decided not to change her ways, so she ends up dead and then becomes on the ghost of Christmas past for the Project Scrooge. I have not read this yet, but I really want to before Christmas, but I'm hoping I was thinking, like, if anybody who enjoys A Christmas Carol will enjoy this book. So I definitely would recommend this as well. The next book I'm recommending is The Shadow Queen by C.J. Redwine. This is a retelling of Snow White, and I know I have a lot of fantasy recommendations on this list, I'm sorry, but anyways, I think, like, anybody who likes fairy tale retellings would definitely enjoy this. I have not read this book yet, so I can't tell you my thoughts on it, but if I were that person, I would definitely be happy to have this. two fantasy books that I'm recommending for for the people who loves fantasy. They're actually Beauty and the Beast retellings. The first one is Cruel Beauty by Ross Van Hodge, and the next one is Hunted by Megan Spooner. I think those two books would definitely. I have not read those two books, but I think anybody who loves Beauty and the Beast would definitely enjoy these a lot. Now I'm going to go to the category of contemporary, and the first book I'm recommending is The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. It's about this girl who has 26 crushes, but ends up not going with it and asks the guy out, but her sister tries to get her to say go for it and all that jazz, but then she meets a really Tolkien nerd at work that she possibly would start liking. I love this book, and the romance between the two characters, oh my gosh, it's so adorable, and I think I could not put it down. So I think anybody who enjoys romance along with what am I trying to say? Anyways, I think anybody would enjoy this book, because if anybody who loves romance in a book, I think they would definitely enjoy this. The next book I'm recommending is Geekerella by Ashley Poston. This is technically a contemporary retelling of Cinderella. So if you like a Cinderella story, I think you would definitely enjoy this. I know I did. It reminds me of the movie a lot. That's why I enjoyed it so much. So I think anybody would like this book if they are fans of a Cinderella story. So yeah, I definitely would recommend it. The next book I'm recommending is Everything by Nicole Yoon. I have not read this book yet, but it's about this girl who's literally allergic to everything, and she has to stay indoors because she's allergic to, like I said, she's allergic to anything, and she's not allowed to go outside. But then this guy moves in next door who tries to encourage her to get over her shell and do what she wants to do, like reach her goals and stuff. I know the movie just came out, and I was upset that I didn't get a chance to read it before then, because it looked like a cute romance, and I think anybody who loves The Fault in Our Stars would definitely will enjoy this. The next book I'm recommending is My Life Next Door by Huntley Fitzpatrick. I have not read this book yet, but it's about this girl who meets this guy that's next door, and then they end up falling in love. I'm trying to remember the synopsis for this, but that's all I know, and I think anybody who loves the romance between a girl and a boy next door would definitely like it. The next book is Eli Sanders Monsters by Francesca Seppia. I'm actually starting to read it, and I'm liking it so far, and it's about this girl who created this online comic book world, and then she ends up meeting a guy who writes fan fiction of it, and I think the romance starts from there. But I think it's really, as far as I can tell from starting to read it, I'm really enjoying it. I think it's really good so far, so I definitely would recommend to anybody who loves going on social media or likes writing fan fiction. The last contemporary book I'm going to be recommending is 13 Little Blue Envelopes by Maureen Johnson. It's about this girl whose aunt passed away, but then she ends up getting letters from her aunt telling her what to complete certain tasks, and she travels around Europe. And I know some people might not enjoy it, but I know I definitely did. And if anybody who loves European traveling or likes backpacking trips, I would definitely recommend those to those people. The last genre I'm going to be recommending is dystopian, is because I have not read a lot of other genres like historical fiction or sci-fi, so I'm sorry I have not have those books to recommend to you, but I probably will in the future. But for now, I'm going to be recommending dystopian books. And the first one is Divergent by Veronica Roth. This takes place in a futuristic world of Chicago, and it's split into 4 different groups called factions, and certain people take a test to determine which personality they fit in. And this girl finds out that she's divergent, who is fitting into more than one group, and they consider her dangerous, so she has to keep that secret from them. I definitely enjoyed Divergent because I live in the Chicago suburbs, so I was happy that one of the books that I've read takes place in Chicago, because that doesn't happen very often. But it's that everybody can compare it to The Hunger Games. I would recommend that too. I just didn't want to bring it down. But anyways, I think anybody who loves Chicago, the place Chicago, or wants dream about going there, I would definitely recommend those who wants to read a book about that takes place in Chicago. The next dystopian book is The Maze Runner by James Dashner. I have not read this book yet, but it's about this boy who ends up in the maze for no reason, and then other boys end up in the maze, and then this girl end up in the maze for the first time, and they don't know why. But I think the point of this book is to figure out how they can find their way out, if there's a way out of the maze. So I only seen the movie of this, but I really want to read this book. But if anybody who likes doing the maze puzzles on a newspaper or something, I think they would enjoy The Maze Runner. The last book I'm recommending for dystopian is The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. I've heard that they compare this to the X-Men, so if they like the X-Men, they would like it. I have not read this book yet, but I really want to, so if I end up that person, I think I would end up liking it no matter what. Adults, I have not read a lot of adult books to recommend, but I have 2 of them to talk about. The first one is The Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. It's about this guy getting murdered, and everybody on the train's a suspect. I saw the movies of it. I really enjoyed it, and this book was a quick read, so if anybody who loves murder mysteries, I would definitely recommend this to those who love mystery. Nicholas Sparks books, and I picked A Walk to Remember by Nicholas Sparks, obviously. It's about this boy who doesn't know what he wants to do. He ends up starring in a play that this girl wrote, and she tries to prove to him that he will become a better person no matter what. I love this book. I cried, obviously, like most of the Nicholas Sparks books, but I think anybody who loves romance would definitely enjoy one of Nicholas Sparks' books, especially this one. Now I'm going to be recommending games for readers. This might be unusual for all of you, is because some of you might not be gamers, but I'm a co-host of my boyfriend's channel, Gamers Genie. I'll link his channel down below so you guys can check him out. And I've played some games that are based on a lot of books, and the first game I'm recommending is Elder Sign, which is published by Fantasy Flight Games. If you like H.P. Lovecraft books, you would definitely enjoy the game. The point of this game is you have to collect Elder Signs before the Ancient One awakens. There are different Ancient Ones, so you get to pick whatever one you want to face, so that will be fun. And the next one is probably a game that you probably would be upset if you have not heard of it, which is Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle. So basically you play as different Harry Potter characters. You have Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Neville. And each of the games represents different books of the series. So you get to face any villains from each of those books. And also each of the cards represents the magical objects that was in the movie, spells, and allies. So it's definitely a good game to play. If you're a Harry Potter fan, you definitely want to check out that game. And the third game I'm recommending is Battle of Wits, which is the Princess Bride games. And if you have not read or seen the movie, I definitely would recommend to those who are fans of it. And you can go up to 10 players in that game, so that would be fun to play against 9 of your friends in that game. And for the games I mentioned, the how to play videos that my boyfriend did will be linked down below so you guys can check it out. And the last game I'm going to be recommending is the game that I own, which is Bring Your Own Book. This game is like apples to apples, but except you get to use any books that you own. So if you pick Harry Potter, you definitely would use it. So I'm not sure if you can play this game with an ebook, because I know some people have Kindles or Nooks, so I think I would find that difficult to play it with those devices, but you would definitely want to play this game because it's a lot of fun, especially when you're playing with your bookish friends. I hope you guys enjoy it, even though there's some of the books that I have not read on this list, but I'm gonna try to get to them. And if you enjoy this video, give this a thumbs up and comment down below what books you would recommend for your reader friends on any genre that I mentioned in this video or different genre. And if you want to follow me on social media, I have Facebook under The Lost Reader and Twitter and Instagram under Lost Reader 19. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!